Hey, my name's James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now in this video, I've got some actually good news about mortgages. You don't often get this, and it's good news about banks as well. Can you believe that? Lots of good news in one video. Well, before we jump into that, make sure that you smash the like button, guys. That really helps me get more views on YouTube, so please do that. Subscribe to the channel while you're here and hit the bell notification. We've got new content every single day. And one quick request. The video I made yesterday is very, very important. If you haven't watched that, do go and check that out after you watch this one. And the reason for that is it talks about how you could halve or more your mortgage payments with a new scheme that the government's launched this week. I think it's probably the best thing the Conservative government has ever put in for consumers. It's that big a deal. And I ask you to go and watch it, and please share it with friends and family, because I want to get the message out there. The newspapers have done a very poor job of reporting it correctly. I think I've made it a little easier to understand, so maybe you could do me a favour and share that with some people while you're there. So, banks. No one likes them. Nobody really likes the bank, right? They always charge us a ton of money. But certain banks have not, with the interest rate rise that we've had this week, have decided not to pass it on to their customers, which is very strange. And so that doesn't always happen. And I think what's happening at the moment is banks are getting a lot of scrutiny, and the eyes are on them at the moment, because the difficulty with the mortgage rate rises is they're causing such hardship for people. And a lot of people are expecting their mortgage payments to double in price over the next few months. And so banks don't want any more regulation or to be forced to do stuff by the government. They did something very good yesterday, which you'll see in that video, but they didn't get forced to do that. It was negotiated with the government and ultimately was a good deal. And so certain banks have decided not to pass on the interest rate rises. And I want to talk about them, because let's give them some credit where credit's due, because this will make a difference to a number of people. And so one of them that is not is a fairly big lender. It's called Leeds Building Society. And so Leeds Building Society have decided not to pass on the interest rate rises to their standard variable rate, which is really, really key. So anyone that's on a tracker mortgage won't have that, or anyone that's on a standard variable rate will not have an increase in their monthly payments. That's a win in my books. Next, a bank that often gets bad news is HSBC. I use HSBC. I've got a mortgage with HSBC as well, actually. And so HSBC have also decided not to pass on that standard variable rate increase. That is a big bank, and that's going to make a difference to millions of their customers. So good win from them as well. And another one that used to be, I've got a mortgage with these guys as well, not on the standard variable rate, but I've got a mortgage with Virgin Money. And so Virgin Money, they used to be Northern Rock, didn't they? So Virgin bought Northern Rock's brand when it ultimately failed. And they've decided not to pass this on as well. Now, obviously, they're not doing it just to be nice to us. They're doing it to get some regulation off their back, to get the government's eyes off them, and to be seen as the good guys. But also, they want deals, right? So if they can get some positive publicity, more people might go and have a look at what mortgage deals and bank deals and credit card deals that they've actually got. So ultimately, it will turn into business for them. Now, what we talked about yesterday is there is a way now to extend your mortgage, to turn that mortgage payment from a repayment to interest only. That's going to make an even bigger deal for, I think, millions of homeowners. And I'm actually considering revising my forecast for house prices to decline down. Now, that depends on how many people know about these deals, which is why I've asked you to go and share yesterday's videos. I mean, I don't get anything out of that. I'm not selling anything in that video, but I just want more people to really understand. And we did a breakdown. If you owe 200 grand, what's it going to cost to borrow for 10 years as opposed to 25 years? What happens if you go from repayment to interest only? And I think it's going to make a big difference. Now, that's probably not going to help people move, but what it will do is maybe slow the market down a little bit more again. And so you've got to think about it like this. If you're sitting somewhere and you're thinking, I live in a 3-bedroom house and I want to go to a 4-bedroom house, but if you move, you get this big whacking great big mortgage, you might just not sell. And so I think transactions will slow down. But I think if more people really understand what support there is, there'll be less of a decline. There'll be less desperation sales. And when you've got less desperation sales, it's harder for a market to crash. That's when the market really goes down, like it did in 2008. And the reason 2008 was so prolific was because funding stopped. So people couldn't buy even if they wanted to. Some people had good jobs, but they couldn't get lending. Banks were failing, like Northern Rock. You might remember, in fact, there's a Virgin Money just up the road from me. I can recall people queuing down the street to get their money out. That's how worried they were about what was going on. And so this makes a big difference. So do check that out. These guys are doing a good thing. I think we should give them some credit for once. Maybe there's an ulterior motive that I haven't thought of. Do comment below. Why do you think they haven't passed it on? What's your reason on that? Do smash the like. And as I said, go and check out that video from yesterday and share that around, please, guys. Thanks for watching. Go and check out this video right here.